Asuka, Kairi, Liv and Raquel vs Rhea, Io, AJ Lee and Vaquer. SmackDown February 13, 2026. WWE just delivered the most stacked women's tag team match in SmackDown history, and if you think the result makes any sense, you haven't been paying attention to what WWE has been doing to their women's division. Asuka, Kairi Sane, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez went to war against Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, AJ Lee, and Stephanie Vaquer in a match that should have been a WrestleMania main event, but instead got thrown onto a random SmackDown with a finish that has the entire wrestling community ready to riot. This wasn't just a match, this was a statement about who WWE values and who they're willing to sacrifice, and you need to hear this breakdown because what happened is going to have consequences for months. Comment right now which team should have won, and did WWE just make the biggest mistake of 2026? Because after watching 8 of the best women's wrestlers on the planet tear the house down, the decision WWE made has people questioning everything about their creative direction. Let me paint the picture of what we witnessed. On one side, you had Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, one of the most decorated women in WWE history. Kairi Sane, the Pirate Princess, bringing her signature charisma and high-flying offense. Liv Morgan, the current women's world champion, riding the hottest run of her career. And Raquel Rodriguez, the powerhouse who's been criminally underutilized but always delivers when given the opportunity. That team alone could main event any show on the planet. But then look at the opposition. Rhea Ripley, the Eradicator, the most dominant force in women's wrestling today. Io Sky, the genius of the sky, capable of moves that defy physics. AJ Lee making her shocking return to WWE after years away, instantly reminding everyone why she was one of the best of her generation. And Stephanie Vaquer, the CMLL star, making her WWE debut and bringing legitimate lucha libre credentials that have hardcore fans losing their minds. This wasn't just a dream match. This was a fantasy match that people didn't even dare to book in their heads because it seemed too good to be true. The match itself was absolute insanity from bell to bell. The opening sequence with Io Sky and Kairi Sane was pure poetry, 2 of Stardom's greatest alumni, showing WWE's audience exactly what Joshi wrestling is all about. The speed, the precision, the crispness of every single move. Then Stephanie Vaquer tagged in and immediately made an impact with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Liv Morgan that had the crowd gasping. This woman is special, and WWE knows it. But here's where things started getting heated. AJ Lee's interactions with Asuka were electric. These are 2 women who've never been in the ring together before, 2 completely different eras of WWE, 2 distinct styles colliding in the most beautiful way. AJ's trash talk, Asuka's dismissive laughing, the psychological warfare happening while they were throwing strikes. This is what wrestling should be. Not overbooked nonsense. Not interference finishes. Just world-class performers doing world-class work. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez gave us a literal battle of the powerhouses. These 2 were throwing each other around like they were in a strongman competition. The spot where they both went for clotheslines and just bounced off each other? The crowd lost their minds. Then Raquel hit the Tejana bomb on Rhea and everyone thought it was over. But Rhea kicked out at 1. Not 2. 1. Because Rhea Ripley is built different, and WWE makes sure you never forget it. The near falls in this match were ridiculous. Asuka hit the Asuka lock on Io Sky and had it locked in for what felt like an eternity, but Stephanie Vaquer broke it up with a meteora that nearly took Asuka's head off. Liv Morgan hit the Oblivion on AJ Lee, and AJ kicked out at 2.9. The crowd was on their feet for the last 10 minutes straight because they genuinely had no idea who was going to win. And that's what makes the finish so infuriating. After 25 minutes of absolute chaos, after every single woman in this match laid it all on the line, after we got sequences and combinations that we'll never see again, WWE decided that Rhea Ripley's team should win. Clean. In the middle of the ring. With Rhea pinning Liv Morgan, the champion, after a riptide. Let that sink in. The current women's world champion just took a clean loss on television to someone who's not even in the title picture right now. And before anyone says it's just one loss, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Champions losing clean on television always matters. It damages their credibility. It makes fans question if they're actually the best. It opens the door for, well, if Rhea can beat her that easily, why isn't Rhea the champion? Here's why people are furious about this finish. Liv Morgan is in the middle of what should be a career-defining championship reign. She's finally getting the respect she deserves. She's main eventing shows. She's carrying the division. And WWE just had her lose clean to build up. What exactly? Rhea Ripley doesn't need the win. Rhea is already established as one of the most dominant women in WWE history. She's a former champion multiple times over. Her credibility is not in question. Meanwhile, Liv needed to look strong heading into whatever championship defense WWE has planned for her. Having your champion lose clean on free television is terrible business. It makes the championship feel less important. It makes the champion feel beatable. And it creates the perception that Liv is only champion because Rhea isn't in the title picture, not because Liv is actually the best. But it's not just about Liv. Let's talk about what this means for AJ Lee's return. AJ came back to WWE after years away, and WWE's decision was to put her on the winning team in her return match? That's actually smart booking, except it's not, because now what? Where does AJ go from here? Is she sticking around long term, or was this a one-off appearance? If she's staying, great, but if this was just a nostalgia pop, then WWE just used her to beat their current roster, which makes the current roster look inferior. Stephanie Vaquer's debut is another complicated situation. She looked incredible in this match. Everything she did was smooth, impactful, and showed why she's one of the most respected women's wrestlers in the world. But she was on the winning team in her debut, which means WWE now has to follow up on that momentum. They have to give her meaningful programs and keep her looking strong. Based on WWE's track record with debuts, that's not guaranteed. How many times have we seen someone debut hot and then get lost in the shuffle within a month? Let's address the damage control situation with Asuka, Kairi, and Io all in this match but on opposite sides. The storytelling here was fascinating because you could see the conflict. Io and Kairi had moments where they hesitated before attacking each other. Asuka and Io had a stare-down that was loaded with history and emotion. This is the kind of subtle storytelling that WWE used to be great at, and it's still working when they remember to do it. But here's the frustrating part: this story could have been the focus of the match. Instead, it got lost in the chaos of having 8 women all trying to get their spots in. Don't get me wrong, the action was incredible, but the story could have been even better if WWE had simplified things and made the damage control tension the centerpiece. Raquel Rodriguez is someone we need to talk about because she's been in WWE purgatory for months. She's talented, she's over, she's got a unique look and skill set, but WWE can't seem to figure out what to do with her. Putting her in this match was great for giving her exposure, but she was also the one who ate the pin. Liv ate the pin. But Raquel was barely a factor in the finish, which means she was just there to fill out the team. That's not how you build stars. That's how you waste them. Here's the real question that has everyone divided: should this match have even happened on SmackDown? This was pay-per-view quality. This was stadium show quality. 8 of the absolute best women in wrestling, most of whom have never shared a ring together, in a match that could have drawn money and been promoted for weeks. Instead, WWE gave it away on free TV with barely any build. That's simultaneously generous to the fans and terrible business. The argument for doing it on SmackDown is that it shows WWE values their weekly television and wants to give fans a reason to tune in. It's a thank you to the loyal audience. It's a statement that SmackDown is must-see TV. All of that is valid. But the argument against is that this match deserved more. It deserved a proper build with video packages and interviews and tension-building segments. It deserved to be a draw for a premium live event. Instead, it happened and it's over, and now we'll never get to see how big it could have been with proper promotion. The post-match angle was interesting and concerning in equal measure. Rhea stood over Liv with the Women's World Championship, holding it above her head while staring directly into the camera. The message was clear: this is my division, and I'm coming for what's mine. That's great for building Rhea as a threat. But it also telegraphs exactly where this is going: Rhea vs Liv for the championship, and takes away any mystery or surprise from future booking. What about Asuka and Kairi after taking the loss? They looked defeated. Not just physically, but emotionally. Is this leading to a damage control implosion? Are we finally going to get the Asuka vs Io Sky singles match that people have been begging for? Or is WWE just going to move on and pretend this loss didn't matter? Based on patterns, it could go either way. Here's what should happen next if WWE actually cares about long-term storytelling. Liv Morgan should come out next week absolutely furious that she lost. She should demand a rematch with Rhea one-on-one to prove that the only reason she lost was because of the chaotic nature of the 4-on-4 match. That sets up a huge singles match, and depending on the result, it either establishes Liv as a champion who can overcome her toughest challenge, or it sets up Rhea's championship chase. For AJ Lee, WWE needs to clarify her status immediately. Is she back full-time? Part-time? Was this a one-off? Because if she's sticking around, she needs a program. She needs opponents. She needs something to do beyond just showing up for big matches. AJ is too talented to be used as a nostalgia act. Stephanie Vaquer needs to be protected and featured. She's got star written all over her, but WWE has to resist the temptation to rush her into a title program before she's established with the audience. Give her a few weeks to show her personality, cut promos, and have singles matches that showcase her abilities. Then push her to the title picture. The elephant in the room is whether WWE has too many talented women and not enough TV time to feature them all properly. Look at the names in this match. Every single one of them could be a champion. Every single one of them could main event. But there are only so many hours of television and only so many championship opportunities. That's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. What's frustrating longtime fans is that WWE has this much talent and still makes questionable booking decisions. You have 8 world-class performers ready to deliver classics every single week, and instead of building long-term programs with clear stakes and satisfying payoffs, WWE throws them together in random multi-person matches that don't always serve a greater narrative purpose. This match was incredible to watch. Every single woman delivered. The action was non-stop. The near falls had people on the edge of their seats. But the booking, having the champion lose clean, doing this match on free TV without proper build, not clarifying what this means for future storylines, that's what has people angry. You can execute something perfectly and still make wrong decisions about when to do it and who should win. So here's what I need from you. Tell me in the comments who you think deserves the next Women's World Championship match. Tell me if you think AJ Lee should have won in her return. Tell me if you're excited about Stephanie Vaquer, or if you think WWE is going to waste her like they've wasted other international stars. Tell me if having matches this good on free TV is awesome, or if it devalues premium live events. Like this video if you want to see Liv Morgan get her win back against Rhea. Share it if you think WWE needs to be more careful with their champions booking. Subscribe if you want me to continue covering every twist in the women's division and calling out WWE when they make decisions that don't make sense. 8 women just put on a clinic. The in-ring work was flawless. But the questions about what comes next and whether WWE made the right call with the finish, those questions are going to linger until we see what happens in the coming weeks. Let's hope WWE has a plan, because this division is too talented to waste on short-sighted booking decisions.